I've never complained. You never complain, never explain.
Helen?
When I lived in New York, if I wasn't working in show business, I got me a job doing something else.
So you just kept the living.
I worked. I had to work because wasn't nobody taking care of me but me. My husband was dead. I didn't have no way. But I knew how to make a living.
Right.
I worked in Western Union. I worked in the post office. I worked at the Manhattan Mayfair where I served dinner parties. I run a hotel work. I run elevators. You know, I've always worked.
So Helen had a tough time and a good time in her life. I mean, you kept pushing
I've always
out there.
Worked.
That's a secret then.
I guess so. But see, a lot of them don't want to work. They just want to be in show business and get boom, get in there, and that's it, you know.
Make that million and get out.
Uh-huh. But
you did it for basically the love of it, too, didn't you?
Yes, I like show business.
I see.
That's what I like. I mean, that's all I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But I had to do other kind of work. In order to do that,
right.
I had to do what I didn't want to do in order to get to do what I wanted to do. I always, say something like that.
Men love it when it's easy. But women, don't be easy. You don't want to be in that category, because when a man decides he wants to be serious about a woman, he doesn't want a woman that everybody has had. And easy women, they get around.
Hey Rych Babes, it's your girl Bella Dior, and I'm back with another video, and I'm so excited about this video because we are getting some random advice, because I just compiled different things, so this video isn't necessarily focused on one thing. We're getting random advice from older women, I'll say between 45 all the way up to 80, maybe even 90, on life decisions, life lessons, and just how to just move about with life. And I'm really excited because it's always good to learn from those that came before us and to just listen and take heed and just let it sink all in. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting this channel. I am so happy. I love all of you. Thank you for everyone who told me of where you're all located. I cannot believe a Rich Girls Glow Up has reached so many people across the globe. I'm so excited. Thank you all again. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share.
I think one of the biggest things we have to understand is there's a difference in powerful women and strong women.
Okay.
Strong women are just surviving. I could have easily been just a strong woman. I was raised by a strong mom. It was just about survival. There was no conversation about thriving. And when you come over to this powerful place, we're taking what happened to us, and it's not a woe is me, because everybody doesn't have a trauma story. I have to understand that. And it's okay if you do or you don't.
Right.
But it's not okay for you to still be, at this day and age, as a grown woman, still talking about just surviving. At what point do you get to, I'm thriving? And the biggest thing is you could take what you've been through and help somebody else overcome. It no longer was about me, Myron.
I suggest that you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is you go to the mirror. Before you go to the bathroom or do anything, when you're really at your most delightful, go to the mirror and say, I love you. And what can I do for you today to make you happy? And you may not get an answer for a while because that part of you doesn't trust you. But if you start doing that, you'll find a very good connection. A very healing thing to do is just a couple of times a day for a month or so is to look in a mirror in your own eyes and say, I love you. I really, really love you. And just let all those feelings come up and notice them. And if it's difficult for you to do that, notice that it's difficult for you to look in your own eyes and say, I love you. And ask yourself, now where did that nonsense come from? Remember, little tiny babies, when they're born, they absolutely adore themselves. And they're totally open, and they're full of love. They express themselves freely. They ask for what they want. They love their bodies from the top of the toe to the top of their head to the tip of their toes, because nobody's taught them guilt and shame. They know how wonderful they are. And then somewhere along the line, we get this idea that we're not good enough. And we start putting our tape measures around our waistline to tell us if we're acceptable. Or we read magazines that say we have to be a certain height or a certain weight before we're acceptable. Or we listen to the media that says we have to use a certain deodorant before we're acceptable. It just doesn't make sense. We are absolutely divine, magnificent expressions of life, all of us. So many people ask me about how to love yourself. How do you love yourself, Louise? Because I talk about it all the time. So I made a list of how to love yourself. And it's even in poster and postcard form now. But number one on that list of how to love yourself is to stop all criticism. Just stop it, now and forevermore. And make a vow to yourself that you're going to do your very best from now on to stop criticizing, number one, you, and then other people. It'll be a lot easier to stop criticizing other people when you stop criticizing yourself. Now, number two on that list is stop scaring yourself. And here we go into fear. How often do you terrorize yourself with your own thoughts? You get into absolute terror, and it's only coming from your thoughts. Nobody out there is doing a thing. Sometimes it's an old family pattern. Sometimes we get new things. How many people here are absolutely in terror of earthquakes? And how often do you do that to yourself? You know, we find so many ways to scare ourselves. I would like people, when you have time, to make a list of your fears. Make a list of your fears. And then give yourself the opportunity to turn each fear into a positive affirmation. Turn each one into something positive. And remember, always you are in charge. You are always in charge. See, one idle thought doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It's like but thoughts are like drops of water. You drop a drop of water on the table here, and it doesn't mean much. But if you keep dropping and keep dropping and keep dropping, you get the table becomes a wash, and then you get a puddle on the floor, and then you can get a little pond and a lake, and finally you can create an ocean. And with our own thoughts, we can drown in a sea of negativity, or we can float on the ocean of life. And it's up to us. The thoughts we think accumulate. And what sort of puddles are you standing in? Or are you up to here? Or are you up to here and trying to paddle? You know, what are you doing to yourself? When we're willing to change our thinking, we can change our experiences. And it doesn't matter if you've got a big puddle of negative thoughts. You know, you can move over here and create a puddle of marvelous positive thoughts. You can make changes, always. So you want to turn those fear thoughts into positive affirmations. Let them work for you.
I love this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer this question. Number one, you are enough alone. In fact, you're probably battered by yourself, to be honest with you. I learned this lesson way too late in life. I spent so much time in my teens, my 20s, my early 30s, really wishing that I had a partner that was going to complete me and fulfill me. And I woke up one day and realized that that was my work and my work to do alone. Now, obviously, we all want to be in relationships as part of the human condition. But one thing I know is that I don't need external validation. And I never did. And I wonder how much of these societal tropes and these narratives around needing to be married by a certain age, having children, having the nuclear family that is the model kind of picture perfect image of success, how much trouble that actually gets us into. Because as loud as those voices are, we don't have a counter narrative that is just as loud, which is, what if you just want to fly across the world, get stamps in your passport, and be the rich auntie? You have permission to do that as well, sis. Next is the hoe. Yeah. I have a 4-part thought life manifesto over on Instagram that I highly recommend all of the young women check out, because for me, hoeing or being a thought comes from a feminist perspective, honestly. And this idea that we can own our pleasure and our sensuality and our sexuality is a form of liberation, especially for Black women. So hoe, do it a whole lot. Next, I would say resist the pressure to assimilate. I mean, that goes back to the previous one as well. And this idea of what it means to be a respectable woman. I don't seek to be liked nor respected. I seek to be myself. And I think that has been probably one of the most important values and tenets that I have had in my life as far as success is concerned. Even as an attorney turned content creator turned solopreneur, I still just kind of march to the beat of my own drum. And I think so much of white supremacy, heteropatriarchy especially, tells women to present and to show up in the world in a certain way. Right? What does it mean to be in a professional space? Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to not do things that you think are important norms that are healthy for you. But what I am saying is I don't have to look like any XYZ person to be successful. I don't have to wear my hair a certain way, my nails a certain way, my clothes a certain way, can't wear color, gotta sit like this, gotta walk like this. Where's your Lululemon and your pumpkin spice latte? No, ma'am. That is not me. And anything that is telling us that we have to fit ourselves into a very, very narrow understanding of who we are in order to be successful is a form of systemic oppression that I absolutely resist. And the last thing I would say is find out what brings you joy and pursue that thing with reckless abandonment. Because now it's not crack. I'm not going to say. Not an 8-ball, sis. If it is something that is both healthy and whole, pursue that with reckless abandonment. Go all in on that because something good will come from it. Just this kind of journey to your joy is going to reveal so many lessons. I wish I had done that study abroad program. I wish I had spent time with my friends just adventuring. I wish I wouldn't have gotten into relationships so young. I wish that I would have just poured into myself and made the mistakes and learned and course corrected and made some more mistakes and learned and just woke up one day in the middle of who knows where in Ibiza and had partied. And I just wish that I would have pursued happiness because that is the only lesson in life for me that is the most priceless and also the hardest one to gain.
You are not his job seeker. You're not supposed to write his resume for him. You're not supposed to make a to-do list in the morning so he gets out of bed and does something. You're not his therapist and you're not his mom. Please keep that in mind when you're dating him.
Hey, it's Mel. I'm 55 years old, and these are 13 things that I wish I knew when I was in my 20s. Number one, the idea that your 20s is going to be the best time of your life, complete and utter bullshit. In fact, your 20s might be the hardest decade of your life. But listen to me. You're not broken, you're not a loser, and you are going to figure it out. Number two, stop spending your money on stupid shit. Seriously, listen to me. Spending money that you do not have on things that you do not need, it does not make you feel powerful. It makes you feel powerless. Number three, you have so much time. You have so much time to meet the love of your life, to make 6 figures, to figure out your career, to start a family. Slow down. Your time is precious and you have plenty of it. Number four, date the person, not the potential. I want you to ask yourself, are you truly dating the person as they are? Or are you dating them kind of wishing they were someone else? The fact is, no one changes unless they want to. So date the person, not their potential. Number five, life isn't fair. And wishing that it was, it's not going to change anything. So stop comparing yourself to other people because you can either throw yourself a pity party or you can trust where your life is leading you. Number six, in your 20s, count your wins, not by the quantity of your paycheck, but by the quality of your circle. Every single time you make a quality connection, count that as the best damn bonus you could earn. Number seven, don't be a dick. Pretty self-explanatory. Number eight, you don't get to want it unless you've got the balls to ask for it. Stop pretending that other people can read your mind. They can't. If you want something, ask for it. Number nine, create a rock solid morning routine because it is the fastest way to take back control in your 20s. Number 10, get serious about who you're hanging out with. In your 20s, you get to choose who you spend time with. So spend time with people who lift you up, who share the same goals, who are supporting you and taking big risks. You know who these people are. Prioritize spending time with them. Number 11, be your own person. Stop doing things that you don't want to do. Stop saying you like things that you don't. Nobody likes a people pleaser, neither do you, so be your own person. Number 12, you're not in competition with anyone else. It's only you against you. There's enough love, enough money, enough success, enough friendship, enough everything for every single human being on the planet. Stop mistaking everybody else's wins as your loss. You're not in competition with anybody. And finally, number 13, when you are in your 20s, take the biggest risks of your life. It is the perfect time for you to move, to try a different career, to go back to school, to take that trip, mix things up. Because if you don't do it now during the perfect time of your life, you will live for the rest of your life with regret over the fact that you didn't, just like I do.
I don't care where you are in life right now. If someone offers you something that you would not accept, don't feel guilty about it. There's no reason to. That's like, let's just say you are used to eating gourmet food and nice food and, well-prepared meals. And then someone comes and offers you a horse burger from Burger King. And you look at them like, no, thank you. And they're, well, what? Is my food not good enough for you? You know all the information behind this food. You know how bad it is for you. You know that it probably has horse meat in it. Sorry, Burger King. You know that it's unhealthy. Would you accept and eat that when you could go over here and eat a well-balanced, nutritional meal that was cooked by, a chef? Or would you eat the horse meat Burger King when you have the option? So please, people, when you're offering someone with very high standards and positive, a positive thinker, someone whose life is going in the direction that they choose, don't offer them something and get mad at them when they don't accept it. Because it's not that they don't accept you. It's that they don't accept what you're offering them. You are a person. You are able to change. You are able to grow. That nasty horse burger is not able to grow. Okay? But you are. You are able to grow, to understand that this is bad for you and set it down. You are able to understand that this one is good for you and try it.
A lot of you ladies do not listen. If you were a man and you were on a dating website and you scrolled through and saw all the women on there, you would be able to tell who's ratchet and who's not. You will be able to tell who you think is an escort or a hooker and who's not. Okay? So if men are scrolling online and they see a group of women that are ratchet and probably, selling themselves, and then they come across your profile and you look similar to them, you have a similar pose to them, your profile sounds similar to their profile, then he's automatically going to think you are also in that category. So it's very important. Like I said, if you are going to be online, you need to be super classy, and you also need to only entertain men who know your value straight up. Most men will not start talking about sex automatically or first and foremost if they respect you and are looking for something for real. If they start talking sex, they think you're an escort. If you just want to exploit them for their money, then, do the other techniques that I say and set a date and get cash until you never arrive at that date. But the point is, stay offline, meet people in person. Don't be upset when you are online and people mistake you for something that you're not, because they are scrolling through several pages and of ratchet women, and that's just what it is. If he's met one before, he feels like they're all the same, and that's why I say stay offline. You're being categorized, stereotyped in a group, and it's not in your favor. Okay? If you like online, if you can get paid online, then do what you got to do. I'm just saying, for those women that are having issues, stay offline. That's not your best place to be. Online takes skill. Yeah, you gotta have good brainwashing skill to be online. When the words build come out of a man's mouth, you're not his type. He don't want you. You are the temporary woman that he is going to try to use to get to the type of woman he truly wants. Just know that, okay? Just know that no matter what they say, they may not know it at this given moment in time, but as that money stacks up in that bank because they're not paying every bill, as they get to relax and rest and not hustle and work as hard because you're doing that, they're going to stay youthful looking, vibrant, young, stack their paper. And while you're getting haggard, less youthful looking, things start to look a little bit different. Okay. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It just means their nature as a man is going to kick in. Okay. So my best suggestion is never, ever build with a man unless you are an architect and that is your business partner and you're going to get that paycheck. You're going to get that contract deal, but you are not married and you are not sleeping with that man.
People are always asking me, Jess, you're over 50. Can you give us life advice? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I have tons of advice to give. The first thing that I would say is give everything your 100%. 100% of everything, except if you're donating blood. Don't do that. Don't give 100% of your blood.
Don't gossip at work. Don't sleep with your coworkers. Jealousy causes wrinkles. Do not go to bed with your makeup on, ever. Surround yourself with people who want you to be better than you are today. Keeping your word matters. It's okay to not be hustling and working 24/7. Appreciate the small moments. Everything doesn't have to be a big thing. Who's going to be there for you in 5 years? Because that's who you should have in your life right now. Allow yourself to mess up. Be honest about what you want and don't accept anything less. Stop worrying about dressing for your age and dress to have confidence. And pick up a book that makes you more creative.
When you walk through the world knowing in your bones that it's an honor to be you, that's when everything shifts in your favor and that red carpet rolls out.
What advice would you give to someone turning 50? Oh boy, I would give a lot of advice to someone turning 50. Only because I wish when I was 50, I knew then what I know now. When you're 50, you're just not really thinking about what it'll be like when you're 70. And that's what's so important. I can't stress enough that if I could give anybody one basic piece of advice when you're younger, it would be to think ahead to the person that you want to be when you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s. We're all told to think ahead of where you want your career to be, what do you want to be when you grow up, but nobody ever says, what do you want to be when you're old? So my advice would be figure that out while you still have a chance to have some control. There is this old saying in life. They always say you can't control what happens to you in life, but you can control your reaction to it and how you react to it. And I would say the same thing is true about aging. You can't control whether you age or not. Of course you're going to age, but you can control your reaction to it. Keep that in mind. If you just go through life letting things happen to you and thinking that you have no control, you don't know where you're going to end up. You don't know who you're going to be. But if you look ahead and you have goals and you say, I want to be flexible. I want to still be interested in life. I want to be healthy. I want to have a lot of friends. There are a lot of things that you really can control as you get older. My basic answer, I guess, would be to think ahead, plan ahead, decide who you want to be at age 70 or whatever age, and then you can do that. You can have some control. You actually do have some control over the person you want to be when you're older.
I'm in my 80s and I'm going to tell you some hard truths. Number one, don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself.
Don't worry.
People move on, and so should you. Number 2, you always have to welcome new challenges. If you're not willing to take risks, then you'll never succeed. Number 3, stay happy.
I'm happy now.
Even if it doesn't feel like it, talk yourself into it. Just keep saying, I'm having a great time and I'm happy. Stop wasting energy on things that you cannot control.
It doesn't matter.
Number 4, always seek knowledge. It's your most powerful weapon. And lastly, always invest in yourself. Always invest in your dreams and your projects and things that are important.
Hey, Grandma. What would you tell people that are struggling with depression and anxiety?
I know it's rough. I went down that road. But call on the Lord. He was the only one that brought me out of it. Yeah, they can give you medicine to help some, but the Lord can also help most of all. Just call on Him and He'll never leave you, forsake you, no matter what you have to go through in life. Never. He's always there. He's always listening. And He said, call on to me. I'll listen to you no matter what it is. Young, old, or whatever you are. Sinners, yes, He will listen to you all. But get ready. The Lord is coming back. He's coming soon. I don't know when, but get ready.
What advice would you give your younger self?
To never marry. To never marry. I think that I could have done all the things that I have done without a man. When my 2 husbands and my father all died within 3 months. And I found myself Betty, because I was no longer Betty Charbonnet, no longer Betty Reed. I was no longer defined by someone else's name.
Okay, my rich babes, I hope you really got some valuable gems from these lovely women. I really got some for myself. I love listening to them. And if you have your mother, your grandmother, or any other elder woman that is still there in your life, please make sure that you show gratitude. It's nothing more loving than to show your love and appreciation to the woman who came before you and who gave you some type of guidance, some type of love and respect, and just a healthy relationship. So make sure you don't forget about them. Send them some flowers just because. Okay, all right, my loves. Again, I have links down below. I'm so excited. I have the Rych Milan Co. launching September the 10th, and I'm really excited about that. Please get the link down below to see more about that information. I have my book down there. I have so many things down there. Just go check it out, y'all. I'm not about to hold y'all too long. And again, I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all next time. Stay rich, rich babes.